Hello everybody, this is Orgo Sinha behind the mic, and today we'll be discussing how to create SSL VPN tunnels from one cWAN device to another cWAN device located in different geographical locations or different places. To begin with, we have our Delhi branch, which is acting as a client, and we have our TNet HQ branch, which is acting as a server. So from here we have one broadband connection which has two tunnels going to the internet, and in Delhi branch we have two internet connections which are provided by two 4G SIMs. We have a 65.0 network going on with a device IP of 65.1, and in the server side we have 64.1 as an IP address of the server. So let's go ahead and get down to some configurations now. To begin with, I'll just show you the interfaces in Tenet Delhi. As you can see here, there are two WAN interfaces which are on right now. So now we'll go ahead and create the net balancer first. So here we'll be creating internet breakaway. So LTE1, and we'll switch this on. We'll go ahead and grab the IP address from the interface. This is the IP address of the gateway. We'll paste it here. We'll select WAN 1 as it is WAN 1. And then we'll put the weight as 1 and then add it off. We'll do it a second time in here. Actually, we'll do it in this one as we have another LTE that we want to add. So we'll type in LTE2 and then switch this on. Go ahead and go to our interface, copy the gateway, and then paste this right here and put it as WAN 2, as we have WAN 2 in here and we are using this IP address. Then we'll put weight as 1 and hit add. Once that is done, it'll show up in here as LTE 1 and 2. We'll switch that on. And when you switch this on for the first time, this will show as down, as it's not checking the connections. To enable checking, we can go ahead and click on the setting icon and turn on ICMP failover check, as well as give it the DNS addresses which it can ping to find out if the interface is working or not, or has internet or not. And then we'll click on apply. Now we'll give it a few seconds while it pings the DNS servers and comes up. As you can see, one of them came up. We'll just give it another minute here. Looks like both of them are on right now. So now we have configured WAN interfaces, gateway for the internet. Now we'll go ahead and go to tunnels. And before we create tunnels, we need to create certificate for the tunnels. So under security, we'll go to X509. Here we'll click on generate. As this is the client side, Tenet Delhi, we'll select client and we'll fill it up with some information. Now the Delhi branch is obviously located in Delhi, so we'll put in India, state Delhi, city we'll put in Delhi again, organization Tenet again, and then we'll put in our email address. And then hit generate to create the certificate. As we have two VPN tunnels, we'll be using two certificates. So I'll go ahead and create another one in here. It'll be same as client. Go for India, Delhi, tenet, tenet, tenet1@networks.com, and then we'll go ahead and hit generate. Now that we have all our certificates set up, we can go ahead and create a tunnel. We'll go ahead and create a tunnel here. As we are doing branch to DC, we'll type in T1 branch to DC to LTE. Now the tunnel ID can be generated or can be manually entered. So for the first tunnel, we'll be manually entering it and putting it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A quick note here that this tunnel ID should match on both sides. So if we are creating one tunnel, the tunnel ID should match on both sides for that tunnel. So we'll go ahead and, as this is a client, we'll leave it as client. And then local IP. For the local IP, we'll go to the interface. And we'll be creating this tunnel over this interface. So we'll go ahead and copy this interface's IP address and paste it here. And in the local ports, I have enabled this port. So we'll go ahead and select this. I have enabled this port on my router to forward SSL VPN connections. So I'll go ahead and select this one. And in gateway, as you can see, the gateways that we have configured are showing up right now. So we'll go ahead and select the one that we put the local IP for, which is 10.105. And the remote host will put as the remote host IP that we have on that end. So according to our topology, as you can see, this is our ISP router's public address. So we'll go ahead and put the public address here, turn on encryption, compression, select the certificate, one of them that we created before, and hit create. Now that you can see, it's just taking a while. It'll take about 2 to 3 seconds before it gets done. As you can see, tunnel has been created successfully. So we'll go ahead and add an IP address to the tunnel now. As it is on the client side and we have our topology here, we'll add it as this tunnel ID 1.1.1.2. So we'll go ahead and add 1.1.1.2 here. And we'll just add 24 as our net mask. We have to turn on TWAMP responder and hit add. So now that we have created the tunnel and given it an IP address, we'll go ahead and configure a gateway for it. We have to go to Net Balancer for that. And here, just like we did before, we'll click on Add Gateway. And this time we are configuring a branch, so we'll name it as 2HQ. And our remote LAN IP address as per the topology is 64.1. So we'll go ahead and type in the network address with the subnet mask. We'll type in T1 as we are configuring it for the tunnel 1 interface. We'll switch this on, and now here the gateway of this IP address would be the end of this tunnel. So we are creating it in Delhi, so the gateway would be 1.1.1, which is the other end of the tunnel, which is in the server side. So I'll put it as 1.1.1.1, and we'll be using the first VPN interface that we created, and I'll put weight as 1 and hit add. Soon you'll see this come up. We can go ahead and add another one here, but we'll do that later on as we have not created a tunnel, another one of our tunnels yet. So we'll just switch it on. And to use both the tunnels simultaneously, the one that we'll be creating next, we'll just go ahead and go to settings and switch this from connection based to packet based and hit apply. Now we'll go ahead and create another tunnel. We have already configured the certificate. So for this one, we'll just go ahead and hit create tunnel. We'll name it as T2, as it's going from branch to DC LTE. We'll name it this. And here, to demonstrate this feature, we'll go ahead and generate it and keep a copy of it on our clipboard. And this is a client side device, so we'll keep it as client. For the local IP, we'll be taking the local IP of the WAN interface. So that's 202 here. We'll copy it and paste it here. The port is 10002, which has been enabled on the server side, so we'll use this one. And gateway, as we have already used this one and we're using the local IP of 100.117, we'll use 100.117. Remote host is the same as that, our public address. We'll turn on encryption, compression, and select the second certificate and hit create. Now, as you can see, it's getting created, and soon we'll have two tunnels. As you can see now, it shows that the tunnel has been created successfully, and here comes up the tunnel. We'll go ahead and give it another IP address, which is 2.2.2.2, as we are on the client side and our IP addresses on the server side are 1. So using this IP address, and then give it a subnet mask and hit on add. Now we'll need a net balancing rule for this one. So we'll go to net balancer and hit on add gateway. Actually, we won't do that. We already have this branch site created and we are creating another tunnel. So we'll just add in another tunnel in here. Go to T2 and we'll switch this on. The gateway is the other side's IP address, which is 2.2.2.1. So we'll add in 2.2.2.1. And we're using the VPN 01. So we'll select that, add weightage, and hit add. Now that we can see, both the tunnels have appeared and are running, but they won't be able to connect as there's nothing on the server side. So let's go ahead and go to the server side and put down a configuration there quickly. Now that we are on the server side, we'll go ahead and configure our net balancer first, which is our WAN interface. So it'll be an internet breakout. We'll type in broadband. We'll switch this on and check out our gateway address from our interface. And then copy the gateway address, paste it right here, choose the interface. We'll just go ahead and check it's our WAN 00, so I'll put WAN 00 and put weightage as 1 and give it an add. We'll switch it on, and just like before, we'll go to settings and change this to on, ICMP failover check, and these two, and put in DNS addresses 2.2.2 and hit apply. This will help the interface check if it's all right or not, and respond back and give us the gateway status. Now that we have configured our gateway, we'll quickly go ahead and create 2 certificates for the tunnels. Now pay attention here. The last time we were on the server side, so we, as in client side, so we configured client. Now that we are in HQ, which is our server side, we'll be creating server certificates. So we'll put in India, state we'll put in UP, put in Noida here, tenet 12@tenet.com. Go ahead and hit create. As we will be creating 2 tunnels, so we'll go ahead and generate another certificate, and as I said before, it will be a server certificate. So we'll put in India here, state is UP, we are in Noida right now, tenet 123@networks.com. Go ahead and generate this. Now, as you can see, 2 of the certificates have been generated. So we'll go ahead and go to tunnels now. We'll hit create tunnel, and we'll name this one T1 DC2 branch. And as you can see here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as our tunnel ID for VPN 0. So we'll put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. And this is a server side, as we are configuring our HQ, Tenet HQ, and we have selected this as a server side. So we'll select this as server. Now without this port, so we'll enter the 10001 port. Just to make sure this sticks, I'll just show you the port on VPN 0 side. The port is 10001, so we'll put the same here, as it's VPN 0 we're configuring on the server side. And then local IP would be the interface local IP of the WAN. So we'll copy that, paste it in here. Then our broadband gateway, we only have one here, so we'll select this. Switch on encryption compression, select a certificate and hit create. Now as you can see, it got created, and there is our tunnel now. We'll go ahead and add in the server IP address, which according to our topology is 1.1.1.1. So go ahead and put that in. And we'll put a subnet of 24, same as what we put there, and hit add. Now we have our tunnel and our IP address, but we need another one, so we'll create another one. This will be T2 DC to branch, and then this tunnel ID, as we have configured it as this, we have hit on generate the last time, so we'll copy this off and put it in here. Now we'll switch it to server, as we are on the server side. We'll use this IP address as in port number, as we have used the port number 10002. Local address is same as the one we configured here, which is 7.5, and the gateway is 7.1. We'll switch on encryption, compression, and use the second certificate that we created and hit create. Now, as soon as this is done, we'll be giving it an IP address and then moving over to Net Balancer to configure our net flow. As you can see, this is done. It should come up anytime, and there it is. We'll go ahead and add an IP address in here. This is our server side, so we'll just check the IP address. It's 222.1, so we'll add in 222.1, and we'll put a net mask of 255 TWAMP and hit add. As you can see, we have both our VPNs connected. So the next phase of this would be to configure a net balancer. So we'll add a gateway here and we'll be adding our branch subnet. So now we are connecting to our Delhi branch. So we'll put in to Delhi, and here our Delhi local address is 65. So I'll put in 65 here. Add in description as T1 as we configuring it for tunnel 1. And the tunnel 1's gateway IP would be the end of the tunnel. So as we are on the server side now, so the IP address would be the end of that tunnel, which is the other side of that tunnel, which is 1.1.2, 1.1.1.2, and we'll select the VPN interface that will be using it, and we'll give it wait and add. We'll do it another time to add another rule for our VPN tunnel. So this will be our T2, and we'll go ahead and switch this on, and in our gateway we'll go ahead and refer to our topology again. As we see here, our gateway would be 2.2.2 as we are on the server side, and our gateway should be the other end of the tunnel, which is 2.2.2.2. So we'll put that in here, switch from VPN 0 to VPN 1, and add wait. Once this is added, this should show up, and you'll have to turn this on. And as you can see, they are up and running. We'll just go ahead and go to the settings and change it from packet connection based to packet based, so that both of our tunnels can be utilized simultaneously. And there you go. We have our tunnels created. They are up and running. So there's a couple of ways to check. We are on the server side now, so we can go to utilities, and we'll try to ping that device's IP address, which as per our topology is 192.168.65.1. So we'll put in 192.168.65.1 and hit run check. And as you can see, we're getting a ping back. We can switch on trace path to see if it's leaving through our tunnel interface. So it doesn't show it in here. So we can, as I might be connected with the Wi-Fi, so I'll disconnect from the Wi-Fi here. I switch off the Wi-Fi actually, and switch on my Ethernet connection. This will enable me to get connected to the Tenet Delhi side. So as we can see now, if I go ahead and look for my IP address here, my bad, status, and as you can see here, it's 65.11, which is basically being in one of these PCs. So we're basically in this subnet now. Now we'll go ahead and try pinging. We'll open up a new CMD. We'll go ahead and ping our network, our device IP first, which is 192.168.65.1, and it looks like it's working fine. So we'll go ahead and ping the other network now, which is 64.1. And looks like we're getting a hit on our server as well. We can even ping our tunnels as we are on the client side right now. We can go ahead and ping any tunnel. We can ping 1.1.1. That's working, and we can even ping the other side. That's working as well. Now we can ping the other tunnel, which is 2.2.2.2. That's working now. Now we can ping 2.2.1. And looks like all our interfaces are working, and that's basically how we create tunnels between two sites, and that will help us to transfer all data from our branch side to tenant side. All data will be encrypted as they'll go through VPN SSL tunnels. That's all for today's tutorial. Thanks for watching.